Kennedy, democratic process. This girl is driven and is motivated, and I've had a chance to meet with her, I believe, on 3 occasions. And I know she's met not only with the principal, but has engaged teachers at David Douglas High School, and also brought Mrs. Healy there one time with her. And she is very professional, very articulate, and once again, very driven. And she is learning how to engage school boards, engage her peers at school, and as well as engage teachers and administrators. So, welcome, Kennedy.
Well, thank you very much for that. Very sweet thing to say. I'm Kennedy Bertleton, and you just heard.
And I'm Cassie Thompson.
And we hail from David Douglas High School. I'm president of the GSA, which is the Gay Straight Alliance, and Cassie is also a part of the group. And we've come to discuss a missing and what we think is essential piece that we found in our health curriculum. Right off the bat, we would like to say that it is included in the state's health standards to include a comprehensive understanding for students on the subjects of both gender and sexual orientation. And somewhere in your packet is actually a copy of the required parts. So it will only be following the standards to cover these topics. And as he said, I've spoken quite a few times with both Mr. Byer and himself, and they have expressed nothing but support for what we're trying to do. And we wrote up some sample lesson plans, and we think even if we can't get in full lessons, even if we can just provide a question and answer type thing so teachers know what to tell the students when we ask that, so we can reduce the amount of let me look that up and get back to you later moments in our classes.
If you look at the handout titled Sexual Orientation and Gender Identity, we will talk you through it.
Which is good. In the explanation portion, we can see and feel like lack of basic knowledge of LGBT kids is leading to multiple issues that could easily be prevented.
This includes bullying and having these LGBT kids constantly needing to explain themselves to their peers.
We feel with having a lesson explaining the differences between gender identity and sexual orientation, as well as going into explaining the spectrums of each, it will help kids understand their peers, and it could lead to a more positive outcome for our LGBT students.
I think we've all had an experience where if you know more about something, then we as humans are less likely to judge it in a negative manner.
If there's any questions on the gender and stuff like that, we'll be there to ask. You good? All right.
If you look at the bottom of the handout titled Sex Ed Additions, we will take you over that as well.
Once again, as you see in the explanation, we feel like the way we teach sex ed is only taking care of part of the students. Leaving out a community of people is leading some of our students to have unhealthy and unsafe sexual relationships. The internet is a resource for these kids to find it on their own, but as you probably know, the internet often gives inaccurate information, resulting in these kids not really knowing what to do and not having correct knowledge of what they're doing.
There are 9 recorded states that have schools that we could find that include similar equal education plans. These include a few private schools in the states of Massachusetts and Minnesota. And to our knowledge, the schools haven't spontaneously combusted.
We strongly believe if we teach safe sex techniques to all students of all orientations and all identities, it will lead to a healthier and safer future. We feel like it's important to have students know what they are at risk for and what the statistics are for sexual orientation so they know what they are protecting themselves against and why they're doing it.
It's also important to provide them with resources for HIV and AIDS treatment, as well as a safe organization that gives them a place to turn to if they're in a tough home situation, mostly along the lines of the Trevor Project, GLAD, GLISTEN, and SMIRC.
As well as the safety aspect, we feel it would be important to include the different types of ways healthy sexual relationships can happen, just as we do for the hetero-based curriculum we have in place now.
You've been mentioning some famous, successful gay couples for anything to look up to.
And not all of our kids may be out and proud, but that doesn't mean that they're not there. And, you know, they deserve to have a safe place, and why not a place that they have to go every single day to learn, to have that be their place. And we would also like to add that we're not trying to change or devalue any beliefs you may have. We're just trying to make a safer and healthier learning environment for all David Douglas students so everyone can have a brighter future.
On behalf of Kennedy and myself, as well as David Douglas, we would like to thank you for listening to what we have to say.
We hope you have a nice day and a wonderful summer break.
And I'd just like to say, Kennedy, 2 health teachers came, and I had an appointment with them, and I wasn't able to meet with them, but somebody from the district office met with them, and I'm going to debrief with them, and I just haven't had a chance to do it. But those 2 teachers did come to me.
And I personally like to thank Ms. Healy for all of the help that she's done, and I just couldn't have happened without her, so thank you, Ms. Healy.
Very much for preparing and helping and educating. We appreciate the documents that you provided us and encourage you to continue to work with Mr. Breyer and Mr. Carr.
Can I ask you a question of the ladies or not? Okay, so my question I guess is that how, so in our current curriculum, I mean, I've read through all the, you know, standards that you guys sent for us, but how, is it just not, are those issues not discussed at all? Or to what, are you saying it just needs to go to a different level, or what?
Well, we have
currently, is what I'm trying to figure out.
We have a visitor come in from Multnomah County, and they briefly touch on it, but my experience was they didn't really have enough time to really go into detail. So I would, I do think it would be better to just make it required to talk about it and to go into detail on all of those things. So that answers your question.
Kind of, so is that one speaker coming to talk about a variety of topics?
Yeah.
Just the primary topic
I mean,
for that speaker?
he talks about just healthy relationships of all sorts and stuff like that, so